Hey everyone! You didn't expect me up here, did you? Well, look no further, here I am. But I also have to be up here because you guys need context behind these screenshots you're about to see and where they came from. So here I am, at your service. And with that being said, I'm going to show a total of 3 screenshots. Where these screenshots came from, whose channel it was, who was on panel, who was being reviewed, whose stream was being shown that day, and there are going to be some screenshots that will be redacted because the people in these screenshots, they serve no purpose to what I'm talking about here today. And plus, they're useless pieces of shit stains on humanity. So, again, they serve nothing. But the other 3 that I'm going to show, one being part of this video and that this video is made about, the other one that this person defends every day and is trying to make out to be this innocent person that she's never done a single fucking thing wrong to anybody. How well is that working out? Shady, how well is that working out for you? Are you getting any headway in that? Anyway, the third person, well, this one has no problem calling people pedophiles and chomos and saying they hold child exploitation videos, photos, meaning explicit photographs and videos of children in their possessions. And I have the screenshots to show for it from his community post. I have them. I'll be showing all of it. And he has no problem name dropping anybody. He has no problem name dropping their actual names, even though they've already been out on his platform. Those names have been redacted. But I'll tell you what their channel names are, because I won't put their real names up here. No. Because just the other night, that same very person came into my chat and put Elevated Truth's first name in my chat. Just after we got done discussing them. Ain't that something? And yeah, we've got the screenshots. So let's continue. Now, Chronicles, let me ask you a question first. Do you pick and choose who you want to defend when it comes to SA victims or DV victims? Or do you stand with all victims, including ones that you don't like? Honest question. Because if you want my honest opinion here, you pick and choose who you want to stand up for when it comes to SA and DV victims. You don't stand for all of them. Because if you did, back in February, you would have put a stop or at least voiced your opinion about the person that was being gone after in this stream back then. If you gave a damn about SA and DV victims, you would have put a stop or voiced your opinion about Illuminati and her child's situation being put out on BJ's panel by none other than BJ, Life in the Red Kim, and the others that were on her panel that were going along with it. But no, what did you do? You were all too willing to participate in the chat and follow along with it and believe it. You think we don't have the streams for it? We do. The very video that Just Saying put out, all of those clips, we have every single stream. Every single one of them. The very ones that BJ took down. Why? Because they do nothing but incriminate her. And she has lied about every single one of them since. Instead of owning and taking accountability, she still flat out lies about it. And there are people around there, around that area of YouTube, that claim that Just Saying's video is bullshit, lies, and it's fake. I wonder how BJ would feel about that. That all those clips that came from her streams are bullshit, lies, and fake, because they were all clipped from her stream. So I guess BJ's streams are bullshit, lies, and fake. There you go, BJ. Congratulations. Your streams are now considered bullshit, lies, and fake. But you already knew that, right? Yeah, you did. So, therefore, Chronicles doesn't stand for nobody. She doesn't stand for DV victims. She doesn't stand for SA victims. She doesn't stand for any victim. No. Because if she did, she would have called all of this shit out. So what is this all about for Shady? It's all about hate. It's all about the hate for the people over here. On this side. That's all it's about. Same for the people that she rolls with. That's all it's about for them. It's all about hate. That's pretty sad. But hey, y'all go do you. And we'll sit over here and continue doing what we do. And that is play BJ's words back to her. Show receipts. Show that she changes her story day after day after day and make up new stories. It's just a easy day's work. Because that's exactly what BJ does. She lies. She changes her stories. We get up here. We show receipts. We show the clips. We play her words back to her. All the while, you guys will continue sticking up for her and trying to prove that she is innocent of everything that we are showing and what we're saying. It's actually pathetic if you ask me. While you guys still try to grab onto all of our attention so you can have a back and forth with us. Can I ask, how well is that working out? Are you guys making any headway with that at all? No. I mean, Johnson sure is trying. I mean, she's tried with me, and she's made up quite a few lies about me. I've already debunked those, and I didn't even have to drop her name to debunk them. I mean, what was it that she said last night about Clue? That her type of man is a pedophile? Yeah, I've got that clip. I've also got the whole string. I sure do. But to save everyone the trouble, I'll just drop Hartley's link in the description below so everyone can go and listen to exactly what Jonesin said on her stream. But I guess Jonesin will get a pass for that one, like she got a pass for the racist remark that she used against Chico's Corrupt Chronicles, and then later went into BJ's and said in the chat that Chico shouldn't speak on racism. You're telling an African American woman that she shouldn't speak on racism? Jonesin, sit your ass down somewhere and shut the entire fuck up. You have no business telling anyone, especially a woman such as Chico, that she shouldn't speak on racism when you, bitch, are in fact considered a racist because you use a racial term against Chico. And I'll show that at the end of this video. And you also have it as your title to one of your streams. Yeah. And I will show the actual term that Jonesin used to describe Chico's Corrupt Chronicles at the end of this video as well. Now, let's continue with, while we're really here, let's not veer off anymore. So the screenshots of Chronicles of the Shady in this chat, while someone's essay was being poked and made fun of and laughed at back in February on Moon and Chroma's backup channel. those are just some of the screenshots of Shady being in that chat while another creator's essay is being gone after, poked at, made fun of, and laughed at. Way to go, Shady. Way to go. And you claim you stand for victims. Bitch, you stand for nothing. Not a goddamn thing. But we're not done yet. Seeing as you guys saw MK Ultra roll up in the chat and call Breaking Chains a dude and say that she needs manscaping, that's not it. That's just the tip of the iceberg. Now we're going to get to the community posts. There you have it. There are a couple screenshots that have been redacted because of people's real names. Now they have been mentioned on this platform. Some do go by the real name, some don't. I will tell you the actual names of their channels. This one, the very top one that's redacted, that is Nonce's daughter. And what did MK Ultra call her? A slut, like her mom. Now, Nonce's daughter may be of age, but she doesn't have a channel. She's not out here creating content. So, MK, why are you calling another creator's daughter a slut? The only pervert that I see is you. And you are a sick, twisted fuck. Now, in this screenshot here, the one of Illuminati, whose names are they? Well, you have Clue and Cletus. You have Jay, Nonce, Granny's watching, and Queen Bee. But MK Ultra here used their actual names. But out of respect for all of them, I redacted them. Why? Their names don't need to be known. But see, this is the type of person here that Shady runs with. Now, granted, those screenshots from Moon's chat back in February, yeah, that was February. But even as of recent, yeah, MK's been in Brittney's and in another chat. Yep. And Shady has been friendly with him. And this is the sick, twisted shit that Shady is okay with. Shady will never call this shit out. Will you, Shady? All the while, you people, Shady, and the rest of the opinionated community will allow this motherfucker in their chats and be okay with this kind of talk. All the while, you want to go after Clue a year and a half later for the sick shit that you claim that she said? Fuck off. And fuck all of you. Because you allowed this sick, twisted motherfucker in your chats. You don't call this shit out. And don't sit there and say, well, we don't see him saying that. We don't see any of that. No, fuck you. Do your fucking research. See, all of you over there, show yourselves every day. This isn't about what we over here do when it comes to Brittney J, showing receipts on her, playing her words back to her, showing that she is, in fact, a fucking liar, a real lifer, a doxer, goes after children. No, it has to do with the fact that nobody pays attention to any of you, and it all has to do with the fact that you have hatred towards certain creators. That's what it boils down to. The sooner you fucks realize that, the better. Enjoy having that piece of shit in your chats. Just remember, you too could end up on his community post being called what he had just called those people in his community post back then. Again, I will include the dates of these community posts. And good luck finding them, because you won't. Now let's move on to Jonesin. So Jonesin gets a pass for the November 1st stream that she did. Yeah. But all the while she wants to go at Cluminati and call her a racist. Yeah, okay. Shut the fuck up, Jonesin, you stupid, ignorant bitch. So here, we have the word that she used. Right there. I'm not going to read it out. You guys can sit here and read it yourselves. Well, and that November 1st stream that Jonesin did, that was, what was it again? Going over the burnt toast stream. The stream was over, what, 5-6 months ago? See, I clipped that. I clipped it. But Jonesin, didn't you do a stream previous to that? And then you did this one? I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know. Personally, I don't really care. What I care about is the fact that you're telling a woman like this, did Chico finally go educate herself, or is she still just defending something she doesn't know about? So you're saying that she doesn't know anything about that word? But you do. You know all about that word, right? Knowing damn good and fucking well that is widely considered racist and a form of discrimination. Well, I guess we can call you a racist now. I mean, I would consider you a racist after this. I sure the fuck would. Now, you put this in Brittney's chat. Have you said it since? Did you learn from it? That is what matters. And this has to go towards the comment that BJ had made towards her own child, the one that she said looked like the Vietnamese mailman. How come you haven't given that same energy to Cluminati? How come you haven't eaten those words? Because see, by recollection, Cluminati hasn't said any of those words since. Huh? She hasn't. But y'all want to still throw it in her face a year and a half later and still play the same old fucking bullshit every single time y'all want to try to get at her to get her attention. Am I correct? Yeah, I am correct. Sit your ass down, and that goes along with the rest of you trying to throw that shit in Clu's face. Because remember what your girl Jonesin here says. Right here in this comment. And then you have Jonesin right here. Wow, this shit is bizarre. Best thing your sympathetic asses can do, Nonce, Chico, is stop talking about racism. Just shut the fuck up. Nonsense can talk about whatever the fuck she wants, Jonesin. Now, for Chico is African American. She is allowed to speak about racism. You don't know the kind of life that Chico has lived. You don't know that. You don't know that life. You think you fucking know that life. Go get yourself fucking educated. And how about you just sit down and shut the fuck up? How about that? And Shady, how about calling that out? Go ahead, call that out. That's your friend, right? Well, I don't know now. I mean, there's some something brewing over in that community. But so why don't you call that out? Oh, you won't be. You know why? Because it's nonsense and it's Chico, right? You don't like them, right? Because you don't stand on what's right. You don't call out the wrong, correct? Yeah, that's what I thought. Now, before I end this, and I put together the rest of this video so you guys can see it, I am going to put one other comment along with those screenshots in so everybody can see who the actual originator of the word Nonce is. They go by the name Clip Punk. Yeah, that is the originator of the name Nonce. It is actually pronounced Nonce. I will add my community post in the description below so everybody can go get themselves well educated on what that word means. Because see, Clip Punk was the originator of calling nonsense nonce or nonce. Then who picked it up? Brittney J. Now, Brittney J had called nonsense, that word, for quite some time. Then me and We Frosty, we went live and we educated people on that word. I even tagged Brittney in that stream. Brittney, however, shut the entire fuck up about that word and quit calling nonsense that for a long time. But now she has all of a sudden picked it back up and she is now calling nonsense that. Nonce is short for sex offender and child molester. Again, I'll leave the community post link in the description below. And don't forget to check out the rest of the links in the description. I would highly recommend watching the videos that I left there, because there are some people around here that claim that Breaking Chains has a weirdly obsession with Lana Oriani. Now, it's quite the contrary. Lana has a weirdly obsession with content creators. That is the truth. And in those videos, you'll see receipts. Seeing as Chronicles of the Shady here doesn't know how to find receipts, she just goes off by other people's bullshit rhetoric and lies and puts it out as fact. We're done here. Y'all have a nice night. Behave yourselves. And I'll see you around these YouTube streets.
Checkmate, bitch.